All right, good evening, folks. Welcome to the Ox Billiards stream. This is Zach Ross in the booth. Joining me tonight is Dustin Hinshaw. How you doing tonight?
How's it going, everybody? I'm doing great. Excited for this match here that we got.
Yeah, we've got Bijoy Bordoloi versus Will Pearson. Should be pretty good. Race to 9, standard 9-ball rules. Looks like Will won the lag here, so he'll be breaking off first.
Yeah.
All right, Will breaking off rack number 1. Really got the 9-ball moving there.
Yeah, tracking towards that side pocket. Could have been a quick rack.
All right, so where do you like the safety here?
I'm liking it right behind that 9-ball. 2 rails, nice and soft. I think that's what he was going for.
Yeah, didn't quite get there. So open shot here for Bijoy.
And an open rack.
Yeah, I think he's able to sort of just follow this and kind of ride the cue ball up on the left rail here. But he doesn't even really need to do that. As long as he doesn't get obscured by the 6. 2 is pretty much makeable from anywhere on this side of the table.
I agree. A little friendly bump on this 6 is fine as well. That was not friendly, though.
Oof.
It's going to be close.
Yeah, he's going to pull out the jump cue.
Cue ball flies off the table there. I know that's not what he wanted.
Yeah, well, he kind of obscured the 2 a little bit. Does look like it goes in the side right pocket or the bottom left. So after a failed safety from Will, he's being gifted ball in hand.
Yeah, he might be playing a 2-way here. Just try to go for this 9 combo, or 2-9 combo, and then cue ball behind the 3. The 2 into the side might be a little tight, which is why he's maybe making this decision.
Yeah, good call. Smart play.
Yeah, well executed as well by Will.
It looks like he could possibly just go 1 rail into this, but he's going to have to kind of sort of swing the cue ball a little bit, maybe with like inside right. I don't know. It's hard to tell. I thought maybe he could go by the 6, but...
Yeah, and if he's cueing at it that straight, it'd be tough. See what he comes up with here. Maybe a 2-railer. in hopes to maybe make it. If he comes 2 rails and then hits the 2 towards the corner pocket, cue ball will be tracking up table, maybe a backdoor safety here. If he gets good contact.
Like the approach here, just follow up mid-table. Even if he lands like straight on the 4, he should be pretty good.
Yeah, I think keeping it simple on these tables is key. Obviously, that was a long shot down the rail. Just barely missed it. But keeping it simple is a great approach on these tables here.
Okay, so do you think he swings this 2 rails or just leaves? Okay, he's going to leave himself on that side for the 4 on the right side pocket.
Yeah, I like that. It does require a slow roll shot, which is always touchy, but I think the 3 is easy enough where he'll be able to execute.
So what happened there? Do you think he followed too much? Like,
Well, I think he was kind of in between the slow roll and then just playing the shot with draw and kind of coming to the left side rail, which if you're going to play that strong draw shot, you just got to hold it and actually follow through with your draw shot compared to like kind of letting it roll out on that shot a little bit too much. Great opportunity to play a safety on that, though. Great execution on top of that. Just barely misses the 4 ball.
so this is kind of a fun run out here. A lot of table movement with this cue ball. A lot of sort of up and down here. So definitely doable.
Indeed, I think both these players are kind of just feeling each other out right now. Both giving each other pretty good opportunities to get out. We'll see if Bijoy can get it here.
That's what we call overthinking the position. And, I mean, we've all been there.
Yeah, I know both these players are probably excited to play on the stream match, probably trying to bring their best game, and maybe just a little bit of nerves early on. We'll see these guys get heated up in no time, I'm sure.
Yeah, I mean, you've played on this stream recently, and I've also done this, so definitely the first rack is always like the weirdest one. Second rack, you're still kind of like, all right, how am I going to play this, figuring shit out. But, you know, once the game gets rolling, I think everyone sort of settles in and kind of forgets about the whole stream aspect of it.
Yeah, I 100% agree. Both these players have great games, too. They can get out basically any table. Doesn't matter if it's difficult. Balls are tied up. They'll figure it out. Just like on the last couple shots, Bijoy didn't get his leave, played a nice safety. You're going to see that over and over in this match.
So Mason in the chat saying Bijoy owes $596. So when we were on an APA team, we did something called BIMS, and it's ball in hand missed shot.
Okay.
And every time that you get a ball in hand and you miss your shot, you put your skill level into a pot of like money, and then at the end of the session, you have like a barbecue with your team or something, but it's like a way to sort of like, yeah. So, but since it's Fargo rated now.
Fargo rated is rough. Yep. I would probably hope that I'm an APA skill level 1 if that was the case.
Yeah, the Thursday team that I was on a year ago played here out of Ox. I think I had like, and I was a 7 then. I think I had like 5 or 6 BIMs. And I was like, damn, dude, I'm putting like half the money in this pot right now.
Yeah, I can't say I haven't missed a ball in hand. I definitely did that in the previous match on the stream table last month. But
yeah, it happens, man.
It does happen. I was trying a little too much, and that's usually the case. You're usually trying too much for your leave. You're not entirely focused on your pot, and then it goes awry real quick.
All right, Will taking rack number 1. They are playing winner break, so Will will be breaking off rack number 2. Thank you all for joining us this evening. Stay tuned. Thanks. All right, dry break from Will. Missed shot from Bijoy. I don't mind a safe here. We kind of just press the 1. Yeah, like this. It's going to leak out just a little bit, but it's not bad.
Still containing. Can't really play offensive here. But you got to be worried if you're Will. See if Bijoy can play a good safe here.
Yeah, I definitely like trying to hide the cue ball behind the 3. Maybe the 1 sort of banks out towards the 4, something like that.
Yeah, and maybe aim for the 4, just so that 1 ball doesn't come around the table back down.
Yeah, caught it a little too thick. He got it over to the 4, so not the worst.
One way or the other, it was getting there. I think he was just trying to come across and play the cue ball underneath the 7, kind of leaving the 1 there, which is a intelligent shot. Just didn't execute perfectly. Hit the 1 ball a little too thin.
So it looks like the 1 does reverse bank just barely past the 4. It really depends if Bijoy wants to be offensive here. Otherwise, he could sort of do like a little shave back cut and keep the 1 sort of nestled under the 4. Bringing the cue ball down to the short rail.
Yeah, with the 2-ball all the way up table, it's hard to go at a bank shot because you're not going to have very good shape. I like thinking a little defensively here. Obviously, it looks pretty complicated. We'll see what he comes up with. I'm sure he's going to come with a good shot here.
So I guess he might have gone for the bank, but he was cueing a little awkward on that.
Yeah, maybe trying to get the cue ball just to hold, kind of where he got it to hold, but the bank obviously wasn't close. He was maybe trying to leave a long cut on the 2 here.
All right, well, he barely got the legal contact.
Mm-hmm. Left it real funny, too.
He played this one off the rail and into the 8, maybe? Yeah, I think that's maybe what he was looking at.
Yeah, if he was playing a defensive shot, maybe he was trying to slide that cue ball over into the 6-ball for the snooker. Maybe playing the 1-ball into the 2-ball to hold it down table, which would have been fine. He still didn't give up anything too easy.
Yeah, I don't think Will's happy with that one. Didn't really expect the 1 to hit like that.
No, and a couple safeties now that haven't really gotten cover. Maybe they need to come with an approach of just playing the cue ball. Maybe he was thinking about both balls a little bit too much. I'm not quite sure.
Okay, nice touch on that shot. He has pretty thin cut in the side pocket here. Cue ball will run up to the top rail, so he's got to be careful. Just doesn't want to get hooked behind the 9, but also doesn't want to land too flat on the 2. Okay.
Yeah, it's early on. I don't mind him trying to fire at that cut and just kind of gambling on it. Opted to play the safety, which maybe wasn't as planned as he could have come with. Now Will's got to look on this 1-ball.
It was kind of like a stun fade sort of approach to that shot, but it was almost like he decelerated a little bit, which may have threw off his shooting angle just a little bit. Well, he wanted the 2-9 combo, but he fell short, so going to have to accept taking the 2 in the upper right corner. But this is fine. Natural sort of position with a little bit of draw here. He can stun out and get good look on the 3.
Yeah, and for what the shot offers, he can kind of play 2-ball up into the corner and get cover if he misses, which he's not going to miss. He's not going to miss that. that 9-7, we're kind of hanging their head above the 3, so.
I definitely like his chances of getting out, except this is a little steep.
He's pretty close to the 4-ball, though. I like his chances. 6 balls hanging over the side. Really only goes in the side pocket to the left.
Yeah, very natural cue ball path here to get set up for the 6.
6, that's what I meant. Sorry.
You're good.
5's off the table.
Ooh. Did not expect it to sort of catch the jaw there.
Yeah, cut it just a tad too thin. I feel like he was maybe trying to miss the 9 ball. Didn't really want to flirt with any of that. Trying to come around it for the 7.
Yeah, blah blub. If I know who I think you are, yeah, I'm looking forward to playing Scotch with you, December 20th. Are you doing the food drive Scotch doubles that Secret's running?
No, I wish I had the opportunity to sign up. I probably did have that opportunity, but I missed it. I missed the window, and
I mean, her tournaments do get filled very quickly. So
day of, you got probably 10 hours to sign up for one of those toy drives, and then that's it. But yeah, maybe next year, my girlfriend and I were talking about maybe giving it a shot.
Yeah, the toy drive one is handicapped based, so it's dependent on your combined Fargo. The one that Secret is running is the food drive, and it's 9-ball race to 9, and the Scotch cap is like 11.25. So I'm actually playing with Chris Iberger.
Oh, nice. That is a good match.
And we're like basically at the cap, so
Yep.
yeah, should be a good one. Looking forward to it. I love Scotch doubles. I feel like most of my pool career successes have been around Scotch doubles. It's always a really fun format. Yeah, so looking forward to that.
Yeah, it's definitely fun to go into a pool match where you got your partner by your side. Because this is such an individual sport, sometimes that weight of just playing by yourself is a lot. It's what makes this sport more difficult than others.
Yeah, I think the thing I like about Scotch too is that just like you're just there to have fun. I mean, people take it seriously, and obviously, like, we all want to win, but at the end of the day, it's like I'm here shooting with someone I want to shoot with, and like I feel like the teams that vibe better do better. If you try to like link up like the two, like if you try to like game it too much, you know what I mean? Like, oh, I'm gonna choose the best Fargo for me type situation. If you're not like vibing in terms of the person you're playing with, if you don't trust that what they're gonna do at the table is going to help you win, then it's gonna fall apart.
Yeah, I completely agree. And taking off the pressure and just being like, hey, let's go out there, have fun, play our games. That's usually the best case scenario for a Scotch doubles match and tournament if you're going into one.
Nice finish there from Bijoy, tying this game up 1-1, going into rack number 3. Pretty strong break. Cue ball gets kicked by the 2, but not completely unfriendly. I mean, 2 doesn't... I guess you go 2-8 combo here. I guess you just need to be aware the cue ball might hide behind the 4, sort of on the cross. But other than that, pretty good spread here.
Yeah, he controlled his cue ball pretty well. Got kicked down table by the 2 ball. which is unfortunate. He's coming with like a medium hard break, which if he's seen some matches on this table, I know a lot of people like to use that soft medium break. Still effective with the template rack. We'll see if anybody changes their break from here on out.
I feel like Daniel Sardoncillo is sort of the master of the soft break on this table. Saw it a lot during the Northwest Cup where he breaks and the one sort of, if he doesn't go in the side pocket, it comes up table and just has like a primo open shot on the one while also making like one or two balls. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. In the Northwest Cup, Daniel was just executing that break at a high level. I think people started to copy it, which is great. It's a great move. If you're playing in tournaments, always watch players break, see what's working.
Yeah, I think just slightly misjudged that shot. Did you play this with like running top right to go almost 3 rails around back for the 4, or what do you think here?
Yeah, I think it's off the rail enough to where he's kind of weighing up if he wants to just dig in and draw this back. It looks like he's queuing low. Could be the case. Yeah, he was trying to shoot the 4 ball in the same pocket. But now that I look at it closer, maybe not because the 8 is so available over the bottom right corner. Should still be able to manage this with a good chance of getting out.
Yeah, I did not want the 4 to follow, so it makes the 5 a little difficult here. It's makeable, but the cut is a little extreme.
Yeah, but he's in a good position for just a natural position here on the 6. Just can't overhit it. He can come 1 table and a half, essentially, for the 6 ball on the right side. Just has to... Okay, opted to play defense. That's fine, too.
And it landed pretty good. I think there's potentially a return safe here. I think what I would maybe do is sort of play this with a little bit of running right and bring the cue ball, hit the 5, have the 5 kind of cross over back and forth, and then sort of try to send the cue ball up to the short rail and behind the 6.
Okay.
That's just my initial thought. I don't know.
Looks like he's queuing with some inside.
Okay. This is a little more extreme than what I was thinking, but I think this works.
Well, he found that diagonal pattern with the 7-6 and played a good speed on the 5 to just get the snooker. So, well done there. Good control on that cue ball there to just kind of find the top of the table, get as much distance as he can on that 5 ball.
Yeah, this is a makeable cut, but not the easiest cut. However, if he does make this, he should be rewarded with a pretty good leave on the 6. Yeah, just caught that one a little too thin. I think if he lands good on the 6, he should be out from here. The 6 to the 7, as long as if he lands like middle table, he can sort of just stun to the rail and then get into the pocket line of the 7.
Yeah, definitely. It all comes down to this shot right here. If you can play twice across, maybe back to the...
Oh, he overcut it.
Yeah, and just kind of lost the cue ball there.
Okay, well, good opportunity here for Will to run this one out. Everything connects fairly straightforward.
Yeah, and this is kind of the same thing I was struggling with on this table. I know the speed of this table is very reactive as far as the rails. It can be difficult to get used to or adjust to. I think once they get a little more settled in, we'll see a lot better cue ball control here.
Good pocket line leave there.
Great shape. Now, does this look a little straight to you, Zach?
Does seem a little straight. Yeah, he's probably going to draw straight back. Just wants to be aware of that side pocket in play.
It's the same thing I was thinking.
Yeah, handled it really well, though.
Nice stroke and execution on that 9-ball by Will. Goes up 2-1.
Heading into rack number 4.
Let's go.
Yeah, rack number 4. I think they're going to be settled in a bit more here. Not to jinx anything. All right, so another dry break here from Will, which is, I don't know.
Was that his second dry break?
Unexpected. Yeah,
Okay.
It's his second in a row. Well, I guess not in a row because he won the first rack.
Okay.
But when he broke rack number 2, yeah.
Tough to get a good look on the 2-ball to play offensive. Maybe he just pots this 1 ball and comes up with something defensive. We'll see what he goes for.
He actually handled that pretty well. He got down to the 2. That was really nice. Given the position, it was very unlikely he would get decent shape, but yeah, he handled it well.
Yeah, great cue action to get a shot on the 2. Just with the spin and the power, these pockets just don't want to go sometimes. These tables have deep shelves.
I was going to say I really liked that shot up until just like a little too much power. You know what I mean? Like the way that cue ball kind of just spun off the second rail, it really sort of gained more energy.
Yep.
But nice recovery.
Oh.
Ooh.
9-ball coming off the point. Just wanted to go in, huh?
Okay, he's looking at that 7-9 now. So I think the 5 goes by the 8 here in the lower left. This is sort of a classic run this cue ball to the top rail and come out for the 4. Oh no, he tried to hold. No.
Goes straight at it.
No.
Still manageable. Landed right on top of it. Almost.
Yeah, he's going to have to overcut here, which is going to send the cue ball. I think it's going to send the cue ball to the bottom side of the 5. So,
yeah, he might be able to check it with a little inside and just go towards the 9. No.
Well, don't want to be there. Yeah, that was unfortunate.
No, and he was so close to just tapping that 9 in, it wouldn't have mattered.
That actually would have been pretty sick. Make the 4 and then just have the cue ball sort of naturally roll into the 5 to go in, or the 9 into the side pocket. But he's going to consider Masse.
It's always hard to see the angle exactly from the booth, but I was kind of thinking he was going to use inside spin and just go 2 rails, try to shoot this 5-ball bottom left corner.
Mm-hmm.
But I think he tried to play more of a softer approach and come towards it on the same line. Just tables too fast for that.
Yeah, this is super unfortunate. Wanted to get a good safe, but obviously the 5 is parked in the pocket now. So opportunity here for Bijoy to take a rack back and tie this game up 2-2. I like his chances.
So you making this and then just banking the 6 into the 9, or are you going for the full run out, Zach?
I'm going for the full run. I don't really like to cheese the 9 when it's like this. Like when I have to bank a ball into the cheese, you know, banking into the cheese is a bit more touchy. And I feel like that 9 can just sort of hit off the point and shoot out. Especially with the way the balls are laid out right now. Like you can make the 7 in the side. You can even bump it off the 9 to kind of get it off of that point. So yeah, I like his chances. Okay, he's going to opt for the 7 in the top left. It's totally fine.
Yeah, I agree. The layout definitely offered a good run out instead of just playing for the 9-ball, for sure. Especially how he got on the 6-ball. Killed that 5-ball real good. Bijoy getting a little confidence here in this table out.
Yeah, he's definitely feeling the rhythm of the table a bit more now. I feel like the first couple racks he was playing a bit more cautious, but now he's kind of letting his stroke out and just letting his like natural ability sort of flourish here. So it's looking pretty good. 2-2 going into rack number 5. Let us know in the chat what your match predictions are. We've got 2-2 so far. Very well could go hill. Try to curate matches that will bring some drama to the event. So let me know what you're thinking. Let me know where you're tuning in from this evening. This is Ox Billiards in Seattle, Washington. If you haven't been to the club before, come check us out. Ox is open Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Only only closed to the public Mondays and Wednesdays unless you are a member. Really good membership deals for those of you interested in getting more exposure to 9-foot tables and high-quality equipment. There are 8 9-foot Rassans here, along with 4 snooker tables and 1 Hey Joy table. If you're unfamiliar with the Hey Joy table, it's basically a hybrid between a pool table and a snooker table. All right, so really good save here from Will. Was able to hide the cue ball just barely behind the 5. So Bijoy going to have to kick here towards the 1. I do like his chances here because the 7 isn't fully obscuring that path into the kick. He will have to sort of flex a little bit of top right on this, maybe like 1 o'clock, between like 1 and 2 on the cue ball. Just wants to make contact here. Okay, we've got several guesses in the chat here from one user. Dana thinks it'll be 9-7 Will. Nathan thinks it'll be 9-6 Will. And Rick thinks it'll be 9-8 Will. So Team Will going hard here in the chat. Yeah, we shall see. Looks like Joy was maybe just trying to send the 4 to kind of obscure the 3's pocket ability. Didn't quite get there. So opportunity here for Will. Kind of like the way this is laid out at the moment. As long as you can get good shape onto the 3, but he almost landed dead straight on this 2. I think he can sort of stun down and land below the 9. But it's kind of hard to tell at this angle. Okay, just I'm going to opt out for drawing straight down. It's pretty slick.
Yeah, nice little stun draw there. Just clearing the 8 ball, so it's perfect on the 3. 3 does look like it's tight passing the 4 ball.
Yeah, I think he's going to have to cheat the pocket just a little bit, but it's makeable.
Great angle of that.
Steph in the chat saying 9-8 Bijoy. The thing I love about these predictions is that they're all close, which is sort of my goal here when I get these matches going. I want players to be close. Try to match it up as best I can, sort of my own perception of the way players play and their abilities. So, yeah.
Yeah, and early on, it looks like we might get a hill-hill match. You know, both these guys are playing each other tough.
I don't mind a safety here. You basically overcut the 5 and sort of bank it to that short rail where the cue ball is while you send the cue ball all the way down table. I guess the risk with that is it's kind of hard to control the back cut bank from this angle.
Yeah, it looks like the cue ball is kind of, with that shot that you're describing, maybe tracking towards the bottom left corner for a scratch too. So you got to watch that. Maybe just play it at a speed in which you could never scratch and get to the rail behind the 6. I know Will is pretty crafty. I'm sure he'll figure this out and come up with something pretty solid.
Yeah, so we ended up bumping the 6. Not quite getting the coverage with the 7. If that 5 rolled 2 inches more to the right, I think the 7 would have been covering, but Bijoy does have a thin cut here.
Yeah, and that was pretty smart playing it into the 6, so he's not playing an in-between shot going towards that corner pocket, like I said.
Yeah, the last thing you want to do is play a safe and scratch.
Yeah, that little in-betweener. If you're playing the field goal in between the 6-7 on that shot, it doesn't take much to just follow it into the corner, hitting it a little too hard. This might get over the side pocket for him.
He waves the hand, acknowledges that there was some pretty strong luck headed his way there.
Yeah, and he did get the 5 over the side pocket, but is this a scratch, Zach? It looks close.
That tangent line is looking a little juicy. Yeah. Yeah, he's looking at it. Oof.
And then even if you make it, you're kind of down on the rail. Are you going to play it with a lot of spin, or are you just going to try to make the 5? And then where does that leave you on the 7?
Yeah, I mean, look how close he is to the rail. It's like really hard to get sort of any action on the cue ball to sort of open up that tangent line to prevent it from going to the corner. So, yeah, gonna have to handle this sort of with kid gloves, if you will.
The key would be cutting it as thick as you possibly could.
With left?
With left.
Yeah.
To save that scratch. That's what the move would be.
Looks like he might be actually playing a little right. Yep, right in the drain. Yeah, like you said, it was on, and tangent line don't lie.
Yeah, and you know that's partially due to the speed, too. It's just so hard to avoid that scratch and making the 5 at the same time. Getting on the 7 is just ridiculous at that point, right? If you were to make that.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, there's a...
That's a tough position.
Yeah. So ball in hand here now for Will. A little tic-tac-toe. Bring this cue ball maybe like middle table. Yeah, this looks pretty good. He landed almost a little straight, but I feel like he can follow into the short rail and back out.
Yeah, if he wants to draw back, he probably could. He likes getting straight on the ball right before the 9, doesn't he?
It has been a couple times, yeah.
That has some good angle on it, though, actually.
Yeah.
For that nice follow shot there.
Handled it good.
Definitely.
Should be taking the lead here. Ooh. Little shake, rattle, and roll, but he got it done, and he's up 3-2.
9 ball wiping its feet, but it still counts. All right, Will Pearson to break. A lot of spin on his cue ball there. Somewhat of a shot on the 1 ball, but the 2 ball is pinched in between the 6-4. It's tough. So he's just going to play a safety, which is going to leak out in front of the side pocket and leave Bijoy a nice opportunity to maybe think of something to do with this 2 ball defensive play. I think he was trying to get shape for a stop shot on the 2-ball, just kind of leaving the cue ball behind the 6-4. But I'm not sure he got quite that. Definitely a defensive shot coming up.
I misjudged that. Yeah, just hit a little too hard. It was kind of like a slow roll, safe.
Yeah, real touchy there, being close to the 2. 2's close to the rail, and that rail's going to come off fast. I don't blame him. I've done that before.
Mulligan.
And I've done that before as well. Unfortunately.
Yeah, chalk it up, dude.
Yeah, coming from a skateboarding standpoint, I try not to blame things anymore. I'm just going to blame that as like if I ever do that, I'm most of the time blaming my stroke, but it definitely can be a chalk issue as well.
All right, so he wants to land above the 3. Just needs to make sure he has enough angle on this 2 to sort of run this cue ball up past the 9. Wants to leave himself a little bit of an angle on this 3 as well. Or is he going to come below the 3? The thing I don't really like shooting past the side pocket if I don't have to, right? I mean, that's sort of the logical thought. Yeah, okay, he's going up.
Yeah, that's usually the rule. He definitely wants a little bit of angle, which he achieved, because now he's just got a nice draw shot, come top side of the 9, and then play the 4 in the bottom left corner. He's going to have a little distance on this 4 ball, which is fine, but that 9 ball is kind of what created that, kind of hindered just crossing over a little easier.
Yeah, so he really got a hold of that one. But I guess on the silver lining side, if he just runs this straight up, he should get pretty good short side position for the 5.
Yeah, one of those shots where you just want to make the ball. Cue ball position's already automatic. That's exactly what he did.
Overran it just a little bit, but the back cut's in play. Actually, this is pretty good. As long as he can sort of avoid that 9 off of that rail, he should be able to get above the 6.
Yeah, for sure. If he can cut this ball and come 2 rails, kind of trek towards the 6, that'd be a great shot.
I see what you're saying. Actually, just let his stroke out here.
Just land, yeah, before the side pocket even. Okay, he just hit it with a nice draw. That works too. Very nice shot, actually.
This is one of those positional shots that I've really been working on. Just like a touch of bottom right to make sure you come 2 rails back into the pocket line for the 8. Just got to hit it smooth. Not a ton of power here. The way the 6 is so close to the rail, you don't really need a ton of power. Just got to make sure that you hit bottom, which he totally did. Yeah, just like that. Overran it maybe just a little bit, but no. I mean, I'm happy with this if I'm Bijoy.
For sure. He's just going to have a little bit of a reach now because he came a little bit more into the center of the table towards the head string.
And I don't mind letting my stroke out here because the pocket angle for the 9 on the side is a bit more optimal if you fall below the 9. So, yeah, perfect.
Yeah, just like he hit it.
Except he's going to overrun it. Oh, no. Oh, now
it's still back cut this.
Yeah, it's awkward now. it's awkward now. But yeah, you're right.
It's
He can back cut it, but whew, boy.
Yeah, it's where's the cue ball gonna hit on this rail? How thin is it? Is it gonna be trekking towards the side pocket, the bottom of our screen?
He's gonna land between if he goes forward. Ooh,
okay, he's playing that nice draw shot. He's really executed that shot nicely.
Yeah, absolutely. He's been holding the line pretty well with the draw there. And yeah, tying this game up 3-3. So I think you all are tuned into a hill thriller, in my opinion. Currently, I think both these players are sort of capitalizing on mistakes from the other. So I think it should be a pretty good match. Thank you all for tuning in. All right, pretty strong break here. The 7's a tad awkward, but not totally awkward. His leave onto the 3. He may consider going 2 rails and taking the 3 in the same pocket as the 2. What do you think?
Yeah, this is kind of similar to the same back cut he just had on the 9. He might opt to just play that same bottom right shot and then play the 3 in the same side pocket. It's hard to say because I was wrong on the last couple shots that Bijoy took. Trying to get the rhythm of these guys here.
Yeah, it does seem like Bijoy tends to play with bottom a bit more, which is something you've called out and noticed.
Yeah, nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, I'm always sort of intrigued with players' decisions in terms of getting around the table, if they prefer follow, if they prefer draw. I think obviously having both in your toolkit is super useful, but some players sort of do prefer one over the other. Do you have any preference?
Yeah, I think I got obsessed with draw shots a little bit more early on in my pool practicing career.
Mm-hmm.
Like you said, you got to know both. You got to be strong with both. I think playing a low ball is just so handy in many different situations. A lot of the time, you could play a low ball in place of a high ball. It just depends on preference, and you definitely want to know both when you get yourself into that position.
Yeah, I think Dr. Dave once said, draw for show, faller for dough.
Okay.
Because I think Dr. Dave is under the impression that the more often that you play follow, the more sort of control you have over the cue ball path. Because I guess when you play draw into a rail off of a ball, if you like throw any English on it, it will sort of like the angle will either widen or shorten up. Whereas with follow, you get a little bit more control of the cue ball path, but you know, he could also just be spouting some shit. I don't know.
No, I mean, I'm pretty much going to go with what Dr. Dave says almost 100% of the time. Yeah, he definitely is knowledgeable, has great videos on YouTube, and he's from Colorado. So.
Mm-hmm. Oh, okay. You're a Colorado native?
Yeah, born and raised in Colorado.
Oh, Bijoy, the rattle of the side pocket. We saw this earlier.
Yeah, got him again.
Got him again. Shout out Colorado. Anybody in the chat wants to shout out Dustin, Colorado native.
Yeah, for sure. I forgot to hit up my peeps.
I'm from California originally, but I've been living in Washington since 2001, so pretty much a Washingtonian at this point.
Yeah, that's great. Well, I'm a little bit of both. I'm half and half, so.
Yeah, I don't have any family in California anymore, so
Okay.
still love it, and I've got friends there, but yeah. All right, so Will looking pretty good. How do you think he's going to play the 7? Because he may be bumping the 8 a little bit.
Yeah, he's got angle on the 6. I like getting real close to this 7 ball, just for more control. I maybe would have opted to draw back straight to the rail and get real close to it, as close as I could to get to it.
I see what you're saying.
Distance is always touchy.
Almost like be closer to this rail and closer to the 7.
Yeah, like second diamond up of that right rail, maybe first diamond even if you hit it real good. It's just going to be easier to judge when you're closer to this ball.
Yeah, he handled it well.
Yeah, might not have been that touchy, but still, he hit it great.
The old switch-handed here. You shoot this left-handed, I shoot this left-handed.
You know, I want to get better at ambidextrous play.
Yeah, here he goes. Let's see it, Will.
Here's how you do it right here.
Yeah. Uh-oh.
How's his speed?
Uh-oh. 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 His speed's a little fast.
It's a little fast left-handed. I think he's got this handled, though.
Yeah, for sure. Pretty straightforward cut. This is the type of cuts that you have to have in your repertoire, because they come up pretty often when you either fall short or long on a shot, in this case.
That's for sure. And if anyone who hasn't come down and played at Ox...
Oh, no.
No way. I was going to say, they keep their equipment real nice and clean. The balls are usually clean. Things will cut a little bit easier under that circumstance.
Yeah, so Will rattling the 9 ball. I think I want to say he rushed it just a little bit. You know what I mean? Like, he saw the angle, but I feel like he got down a little quicker than sort of the rhythm he's been building in his approach. And on shots like that, yeah, it's so touchy. If you barely hit rail first and it's not quite pocket speed, then you're going to rattle, so...
Yeah, why do you think players do that? Do you think he just saw the 8-9 as being kind of like straightforward, so in his mind he wasn't going to take a lot of time on both those balls?
Yeah, I mean, he shot the 8 ball switch-handed, so I think that definitely factored into maybe... I don't know. When I shoot switch-handed for shots like that, I definitely... underhit on purpose, because I know my control isn't as good. So if you hit a shot that you normally would with your dominant hand switch-handed, I feel more often than not you overhit, because you're kind of like compensating, because you're not as used to the rhythm of like your cue stroke with that offhand, right?
For sure.
So I typically just like hit it softer to be cautious. But, you know, it was such a straightforward 8-9. I think maybe he barely took it for granted, you know, and then ended up weird. And then suddenly it's like, well, I might not get out from here. And there's like that little kernel of doubt. And then suddenly you rattle the ball and it's like, well, crap, you know, I should have been out.
For sure. Confidence is such a key in this game. Bijoy with a nice safety there. Looks like he's barely got the snooker on the 6. Will might be able to see an edge, actually.
Yeah, I like sending this 3 kind of to where the quarter is, or that second diamond on the left, and then separating this cue ball, sending it over to the right side of the table, kind of leaving him like a 50-50 parallel shot. Interesting. He played it with a little bit of inside left and got a pretty good hide here on the 6.
Yeah, kind of fortunate to get that snooker over the 6, considering the 3 ball is left over the pocket. But he will take it.
Okay, so do you kick top rail here, or do you kick at the side rail into the 3? I feel like top is better because you can kind of park the cue almost where the 3 is. And if you're fortunate enough, you actually send the 3 towards the 7.
Yeah, I agree with that shot. Looks like that's what he was attempting.
See, the problem with that is he threw a little spin on it, I think. Because I think if you hit it with bottom, right? If you hit it with bottom, it hits the rail, and then when it hits the object ball, it almost like stops. But because he had that spin, it came off the rail and had that sort of like spin trajectory, maybe.
Yeah.
But I like Will's chances here. As long as he can go... He might not have to go back and forth, but just needs to be very particular about where he leaves himself for the 4. Because the 5 looks like it barely goes in that side pocket.
Yeah, I think he's got heavy enough of an angle to get to the center table here for the 4. And I think the 5 going to the side, Zach? Does it look like? It's pretty close. If it's right on that point, that could be...
Let me do some Dr. Zoom here. Take a look at that here in just a moment after this 3.
He might have been firing at the 3-9.
It's really hard to tell, but from the other shot, it looks like it's barely off the rail.
Yeah.
So,
well, it might not matter now because this 3 ball is definitely going into the 5 just to get it into a better spot for Bijoy. Play the 3 ball off the 5 into the side.
This is actually deja vu for me. I played at Scratch last Friday. I was playing against Gus Targonski, and it was a very similar shot where all I needed to do was make the ball in the side pocket, but I was so focused on like hitting it off of the ball that I just missed the pocket completely. And I was like, oh god, that's embarrassing.
It always is.
Like just like overcut it, and I'm like, oh sweet. Yeah, so yep, like you said, get a little bit better position for the 5. However,
yeah, this is still okay. I like to see him come 2 rails here, just past the 6, find that center table position again. Maybe like a foot prior to center table, just because that 8 ball. You don't want to be shooting over that 8 ball.
yeah, I see what you're saying. Spin out just a little bit. Oh, he underhit it. Yeah, I see what you're saying. He wanted to come off the second rail and back towards middle table.
His cue ball kind of just fizzled out, tracked a little wide towards that left rail. I kind of like hitting it a little sooner, coming to the center table a little bit more. Difficult shot here.
I don't really mind a safe if he can bank that 5 to the top rail, but yeah, he didn't quite get there. Well, maybe he did. Yeah, I think the 9's blocking.
Yeah, the 9 ball got real big for him, huh?
I like just going at this. I don't know. There's something about this sort of like kick into the rail when it's close like this that I just really love just going after it.
You like hitting that second rail like he did, Zach?
No, just one rail
Straight into it?
straight into the face of the 5.
Okay.
That 5 was a little off the rail.
Yeah.
I think I would still just go one rail. I love it more when it's frozen. Actually,
Okay.
yeah. So you can kind of play with that second rail. But yeah, pretty decent hit. Got good separation.
Cue ball just holds up over that top right corner pocket.
And the 5. Okay. Didn't quite hide the 5 like you wanted to. But queuing position here from Will is going to be a little awkward. However, the bank is almost a perfect V into the side pocket if you were to be aggressive here.
Yeah, he might be looking at just trying to duck under the 6. Maybe utilizing the 9, perhaps, as well.
Yeah, that bank really straightened out off of the second rail. But not bad, like you said, just kind of ducking here.
Little two-way, I guess, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Perfect. Probably looking to hit the bottom side of this 5 ball so he can get his cue ball separated, which wasn't the case, and he ends up with a pretty good layout, 5 ball over the side. Good chance to get out here.
Yeah, the 6 very fortunate, falling in the top left for him here. And yeah, this is looking pretty good. Can extend his lead by 2 here. I think this will be the biggest lead we've seen in the match so far if he can finish this out.
He's going to be queuing a little bit over the 9 ball here. Really struck that one nicely.
Just needs to be careful here. He will be tracking the cue ball towards that side pocket to get the optimal position on the 9 in the upper right corner. So he needs to be aware of that, but he handled it well.
Yeah, that's a solid shot. Coming to the rail right before the side pocket, playing it confident. You know you're not going to scratch. Right back out to a good position on the 9 ball.
Ooh. And just like Will, rattled the 9 in the same pocket. However, this is not as much of a gimme. So he will not be conceding this 9 ball. But very makeable. And I think for Will, this will be a confidence booster to kind of get back into this game and make it squared up at 4-4. I guess luckily for Will that this is sort of the optimal angle that you would like to take on this 9, right? You want to be as wide as possible.
For sure. A little mishit could leave you into the bottom right corner, but he opted to play with a little left-hand spin. Take that out of the equation. Some people might approach it a little differently. They might play a little right-hand spin, but as long as you get the 9 ball down, that's all that matters.
4-4 going into rack number 9. All right, so he caught that 1 just on the right side of it. For the cut break, you definitely want to hit just a little bit of the left when you're breaking from that side of the table. So he ended up crossing over the face of the 1, which caused him to scratch there on the side. And also the problem, yeah, he made the 6 and the 4. So a couple balls removed from the table. I guess there is a blue cheese 9 ball in play here if Bijoy wants to end the rack early. But the 2 also goes in the lower right corner. And the way it's spread, I think I go for the run out here. Pretty much only play the cheese if the run out is a bit convoluted. But in this case, it looks good, so that's what he's queuing up here. Okay, so he couldn't draw off this 2. Or just roll forward a little bit and accept the longer shot on the 3, taking the 3 into the upper left corner. I think if you draw here, you kind of risk running into the 7, and maybe a little bit of a deflection there might put the cue ball in a disadvantage position. So it's a little soft roll up here. I like it. Now he can play follow and get good shape on the 5 on the right side. So off of a scratch break from Will, Bijoy's going to work here.
Yeah, follow shot's going to leave him going towards the side pocket. He's maybe just going to have to play it a little softer. Oh, not even close. Good shot. Looks like it had a little more angle, but he hit the good side of the center pocket too, so that helps.
Yeah, he overran it just a little bit, but he can stun back, maybe pull this cue ball back a couple inches. Should be good on the 7. Nope. He did his cool stun shot that he does. Ran it to the bottom rail and back out.
Yeah, really letting his stroke go on that one. It's got a long tester on the 7 here.
Now, if he hits this with a little bit of top right, he should be able to come across and take the 8 in the same corner. Except he hit it too hard. What do you think happened there?
You know, I agree with you completely. I think it's just a little bit too hard of a stroke. These tables react so well that a lot of the time when you have a hard shot like that, got distance, you got to work the cue ball a little bit. I think most people, you know, especially around this level, are going to hit it too hard. Mm. And I know from experience a few months ago or last month, you know, like I went back to my match, I looked at a couple shots, and I'm just bridging, my stroke's too long, and I'm hitting it too hard at times. And, you know, I think that's what we're trying to do here is get some matchups, get some people watching their shot routine, their stroke, and really just build on it, right?
Yeah, and like in this example, he was very much focused on the position of the cue ball because he landed very good on this 8, but completely missed the angle on the 7. And so I think when you're focusing on one thing over the other, maybe as opposed to both things equally, you kind of run into this. So, I mean, I've been there. I've done this. So I think we can all learn from that sort of aspect of the game where it's like, okay, I want the cue ball control and I need to pot this ball, but you can't lend more sort of emphasis on one side over the other, right?
Definitely. I think simplifying is a great thing. I think also you'll try to play a lot of shots that you wouldn't want to play on this table that you might play on your bar box. Maybe you're playing league at a different venue. It's just it's a tough table, and it's gonna exaggerate almost everything you do with the cue ball, tip position, speed, because of how reactive the felt is and the rails.
If you can freeze the 7, it'll be pretty good, but it's off, so makeable ball here for Will, and he should be able to fall in position here for the 8. I don't really see a problem running out from the way these balls are currently angled, but you never know. Krabby in the chat asking, is this a tournament? No, this is a 1v1. This is Wednesday night streams that we run here at Aux twice a month. So, yeah, hit that like, hit that subscribe, ring the bell as well to be notified when we go live. Twice a month. Have another match scheduled for next week. Tentatively, we have one of 2 opponents scheduled for that. So, yeah, should have one more this month, and then going into January, the fresh new year, bringing you some more content and more players, diversify the lineups here. Yeah, it's been a really good year. So thank you all who have continued to tune into these matches, and if you're new, welcome to the community. All right, so Will running that out, no problem. 5-4, going to rack number 10. I really think it's going to be hill-hill.
Yeah, they're going rack for rack, aren't they?
Yeah, they keep trading. I mean, Bijoy had a chance to go up 5-3, and now it's 5-4 Will. So, yeah, I mean, it's kind of seems like this match can kind of turn at a moment's notice, you know? I don't really think, like, I mean, both of them are kind of making mistakes, but sort of like the digging in and like capitalization on those mistakes hasn't been super like egregious. So like the other opponent has been able to get back into it. Sometimes you see someone faltering, and then suddenly it's like they're just feeding off of those misses. But in this case, I feel like they're kind of trading mistakes.
For sure, yeah. You're seeing one mistake, and then you're getting back to your chair, and you're feeling real devastated by your mistake that you just made. But then your opponent's going back out there and not getting out.
Yeah.
And that's really going to give you a better outlook on your own game. You're going to be able to grind a little bit more, and that's what you're seeing. And that's how a lot of pool matches go. You know, you really got to capitalize off of your opponent's mistakes, and then they're just not going to play as good.
Yeah, it's huge if you can just sort of twist the knife, if you will, on your opponent's mistakes, because they're the ones sitting in the chair. They realize, oh, I made this position error, and they ran out. Oh, I made this position error again, and they ran out. And so those like mistakes sort of start to compound. But in this case, I don't think there's much compounding happening because the racks sort of kind of relinquish back and forth. But, you know, that could change. I mean, maybe someone catches a gear here and suddenly it's, 7-4, or the reverse, it's like 8-5. So
Exactly. Yeah, it's been short momentum, but you're with both these players and the caliber that they play at, anything can happen. They can run racks. These guys can both break and run. I think the difference for me is the break. I feel like if they get a good break going, they could really put some racks together, put some pressure on the other opponent. Will crushing the break, has a shot on the 1 ball down the rail here. Not the easiest of positions on the 2 ball. You might be thinking about drawing this back to the bottom rail and out. Nope.
yeah, I didn't quite get the look on the 2 that he wanted either.
Yeah, and that's what I was kind of worried about, that
So this is interesting. obviously might be going for the 1-4 combo here. Do you just sort of roll this up? I feel if you stun, that one is going to get real crazy and kind of shoot out. So, but then when you roll it, you're kind of having the cue ball roll towards the corner pocket. So, what are your thoughts there?
You know, you could gamble on this shot. Just a thought came to me. Stop shot this one ball, pocket the 4, and just send it around like 4 rails.
Oh, he actually tried to make the 1. Interesting.
Yeah, I was wondering if the 1 actually went by that 4, which it looked like it did if he attempted that shot.
Yeah, and maybe he was worried about controlling the 1, so he just wanted to pocket the 1 as opposed to comboing it.
Yeah, he was probably thinking of what we were thinking about, the future of the next shot, you know?
Kind of a little bit of a theme this match.
It definitely is.
All right, see if this 1 goes by the 3. It does not.
One of the shots I like to try for this particular shot, if you kick on the backside of the 1, that cue ball can kind of leak forward behind the 3 if you're lucky and hit it at the right point. Went for the bank shot.
All right, fell above the side pocket, so Will going to have to run this 1 down, but the cue ball is a pretty natural path to get shape on the 2 as well.
Yeah, the 5 ball right in front of the 2 ball could come into play if he goes too far.
Yeah, like you said, you called it.
You know, he might just have a look at it, but it was always going to be there.
Doing some angle math here. Do you measure these points with math, or is it more feeling for you?
You know, I'm more of a judgment guy. I don't have the precise math dialed in quite yet, but I do know a few different measurements that I'll take into consideration.
Well, because it's like the diamonds are 15, 30, 45, or something like that, right?
Yeah.
I don't really do that either.
Yeah, but a lot of the time you can't go for the straight math because there's going to be an X factor being spin.
Mm-hmm.
Or top spin, bottom spin, left, right. It's all going to manipulate the cue ball. So you really do kind of have to take these judgments and then just have an educated guess. Yeah, there's going to be shots that come up that are dead on, and that's great to know that math at that point. I think that's maybe what I'm lacking a little bit. Because I'll get a dead on bank and I'll cut it in, you know?
Sure. Yeah, and I feel like I've sort of educated myself on banks with feeling and realizing, okay, if I put outside right, the object ball will take left a little bit more. And so I kind of just feel that out incrementally with where my English is on the cue ball as opposed to the math of the rail. If that makes sense. You know what I mean? It's like, okay, I need to open this bank up a little bit, or I need to tighten this bank up a little bit. And I usually use that. I mean, I kind of like have my stick measuring like a V, right? But then I'm like, okay, do I need to shift over? If I'm shifting right on the cue ball, then obviously it's going to go left more so I can actually not cut the object ball as much.
Yep.
And that's just kind of how I feel it out. I do know people who are very much about sort of the measurement. This is 15, okay, 45, and they actually like mirror their shaft over the point of where they're hitting. But for me, it's just more feeling, and it just seems to work out a little bit better. Like that was definitely feeling. You know what I mean? Like I know, okay, this is the angle. I hit here. It's going to come out this way. There wasn't like a ton of measuring.
Yeah, and it's all going to vary based on your speed, too, that you come into the shot. You know, you're going to, a little bit harder of a shot stroke, you're going to come a little shorter. And then if you let it die out, hit a little softer, cue ball is going to come a little wider. So it's really a fine judgment. And the more you know, the more of that math you know, I think the better judgment you're going to be able to make.
Yeah, I would definitely say the math is an added value to the shot, but sort of what we've been saying is like because of all these other physical elements with physics, it's hard to sort of pinpoint the precise mathematical equation to hit the rail, right?
Definitely.
All right, so he overran this angle. Yeah, he could back cut it, but it's going to be kind of touchy. He could also just make it in the lower right corner. I think he has just enough of the 6 to make it in the lower right.
Yeah, it's tough to say. It looks like he's looking at both shots currently.
Yeah, he's actually looking at the back cut now.
Yeah, so bottom left. He's going to try to play to the right cushion, then maybe play the 7 up into the top corner. Good shot.
Yeah, and he gave himself a really good angle here to get back in shape for the 9. I think I basically just stun into the rail and come across. I think he has enough angle to do that. Oh, he rattled. Yeah, he landed really nice on this 9, too.
Yeah, didn't try to overwork the shot. Just tried to pot it. Unfortunately, it didn't go quite as planned. But he had the right approach, in my opinion.
This is interesting because if he decides to go rail first, there's just so much sort of spin he has to impart on this cue, and then he's gonna have kind of a sharp angle on the 9. So he might be able to just play like the thinnest right side of the 7 and come off the short rail.
Yeah, and when you have an object ball in the pocket like that,
Oh, he just whipped it.
they're so
Oh,
underrated.
he landed so nice.
I mean, he hit it perfect. And those shots are hard.
Yeah.
Which is what I was just saying is when you have a ball in the pocket like that, there's so many different shots that you could come with and so many different outcomes that it becomes real challenging, actually. It's overlooked a little bit.
Yeah, some players may think, oh, it's a ball in a pocket, just make the ball. But that angle was very peculiar, and he handled it well. There was a ton of spin on that cue ball. The way that it kind of clipped off the 9 and almost died. Yeah.
And I think that proves that that shot's so hard. Good shot on the 9.
Time this game up, 5-5, going into rack number 11. Bijoy will be breaking this one off. Thank you all for joining us. If you like the content and you're a first-time viewer, or if you check out our channel and haven't subscribed yet, hit the subscribe, ring the bell as well. We also stream snooker tournaments from time to time, so here at Ox Billiards, really pushing pool, cue sports in general to the forefront. If you're in the Seattle area or in the Washington area, come on through. Main public hours are Thursday through Sunday. If you're looking for coaching or anything like that, you can get in touch with Ox Billiards as well. We do have coaches available. if you're looking to improve your game. So yeah, really big love for the Q Sports here at Ox, and yeah, watching players get better is always entertaining.
Yeah, and you can definitely recognize that every time I'm here. It's always a good vibe. Great equipment. Probably the best equipment, in my opinion, as far as Washington State goes. Not a lot of billiard clubs have these rosin tables. I don't know if that's how you pronounce.
I think it's Rason.
Rason.
Yeah. But I don't know. No, I'm just kidding. That's what they tell me. They tell me it's Rason. Yeah, no, these tables are great.
Yeah, I'll take your word for it.
World 9-Ball Tour uses these as their default go-to table whenever they're setting up events. But the cool thing about the World 9-Ball Tour is that they also do have venues take the lead on how they want to run it, as long as they're sort of within the format of their specifications in terms of rules and whatnot. So you've got like Derby City, they tend to play on diamond tables, but still it's a World 9-Ball Tour ranking event. You've got events in Connecticut, Florida, kind of all over the place. I think the Texas Open might have been considered a World 9-Ball Tour event. Ox will be hosting again. This will be the third year that Ox has hosted the World 9-Ball Tour. I believe that will be coming back in March. Don't quote me on the date, but if you're on Facebook, you can follow Ox Billiards, and it will be announced, and then you can sign up. And if you're a player that my speed is about 530 Fargo, I've played the Seattle 9-Ball Open and had a really good time. I learned a lot. I ended up playing Andre Gianhuerta, and I got the first rack on him, and then he took 9 racks in a row. It was an educational experience, but it was also super fun. You get to see pros come through, and it's sort of one of those rare moments where you get an amateur being able to play against a pro. So if you're in the Seattle area, I would highly suggest being on the lookout for those signups. And the buy-in isn't too crazy. I think it's about $250, which can be a little high, but at the same time, if you take a lesson from a pro, probably paying about the same amount. And if you're ranked lower, like I am, they do sort of seed the tournament a little bit based on the 9-Ball Tour pros that are in the event. So you do have a pretty high possibility of playing them right off the bat. I know a friend of mine, Brianna Clark, she ended up playing Georgie Georgiev for her first round, and I think she got 3 against Georgie.
Ex-champion.
So, yeah, ex-champion, ex-9-ball, Seattle 9-Ball Open. I think he was the inaugural champion, actually.
Yeah, the first Seattle Open. I remember that.
Yeah. So unfortunate scratch here from Bijoy. Now Will with an opportunity. Yeah, he kind of really just drew into that pocket. That was a little wild.
Yeah, trying to get under the 4, just put a good stroke on it. Too good. Right into the pocket.
Nice bump there. Played well. I would be moving this rack out.
Yep, luckily it's straightforward. No referee needed here.
I feel like some players really leave the rack on the table as long as possible, and I'm like, get it off. Like, as soon as there's an open opportunity, I'm like, get this shit out of here.
I'm not sure why. It's pretty strong flex.
It's a strong flex to shoot with the rack on the table. Yeah.
I'm scared of any player that does it, Yeah. Like if they're doing it and it's not bothering them, and they're making their balls, it's impressive.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm too much in my head for that myself.
Yeah.
I've seen a ball skid across a rack and lose a bunch of spin.
Oh, for sure. Oh, no, he rattled the same pocket.
Yeah.
This was, same 7. I mean, the shot was much more difficult in the previous rack in that same corner.
Yeah, I agree.
But still rattled it.
A lot of balls standing up this match. table's playing tough. You know, these tables do have deep shelves, and the rails are so reactive with spin that if you catch them going in, it's really going to want to hold up more than anything. It's not doing you any favors. Huge opportunity here. Go up 6-5. Just has to get good on this 9 ball. I prefer maybe trying to play with a low cue ball, draw back to the right hand side rail, and then back out for the 9. It's kind of an aggressive approach. Got to hit it confidently because you don't want to scratch in that right side pocket. I think he tried to add a little bit of left-hand spin on that, go around.
Right, I don't mind running this with a little bit of straight follow here, taking the 8 in the upper right corner. I think that's probably the shot. Don't really have to do too much. I mean, there's no scratch here. Yeah, I think it's just speed control at this point.
Yep, just play with a high ball. You get away from that scratch shot and just play table speed for the 9 in the bottom right.
Kind of surprised he was sort of looking at the cut there. I don't really like how the tangent line goes towards the top right corner. So I think I would just take this 8 in the right.
Yeah, I agree. And I know these guys have missed a couple shots, so they might just be in their head a little bit, kind of second guessing themselves. I think they need to just try to keep a short memory and just get down to the shot. This is where maybe a shot clock would help you at times. Or not. He hit this perfect. This is going to be perfect. Great shot, Bijoy.
Yeah, I will say that I'm a huge advocate of the shot clock. There's a lot of mixed opinions about that. I think a 30-second shot clock is very fair. But some people might have different opinions. That's totally fine. Nice out.
Okay, Bijoy takes the lead after that last rack, 6-5. Cue ball gets lost downtown a little bit. I sort of like playing the cue ball up by this 2-9, banking the 1, kind of where the cue ball is now, if he can get it there. Maybe a little bit of low spin. Three ball and the 5 ball cover it up. Did a really good job on leaving distance there. Got fortunate with this 3 ball and the 5 ball, leaving a long distance kick. Nice contact on the 1 ball after the kick shot. It appears like it got close to getting snookered on the 8. Bijoy might have an edge. Second thought, I think he's looking like he's hooked behind this 8 ball.
Yeah, so do you go 1 rail here? Do you go 2? Okay, you can just go left here. So yeah, 1 rail. The problem with coming at the 1 this way, I think is the 1 is going to run into the 5. So you're not really going to be snookering the 1. Unless you can somehow avoid making contact with the 5.
Okay, kicks at it thin, and that worked really well.
Yeah, I was able to keep the 1 on the top side of the table. Good separation here.
Yeah, great containing safe. After being hooked on the 8 ball, it's not easy to do. Little return safe here.
Wanted to land just above the point to bring the cue ball down, but somehow found the exact angle needed to scratch, which is super unfortunate.
Yeah, that's that angle that comes into that pocket. You always kind of scratch your head, like, how did that happen? A lot of the times when I shoot the ball in that angle, it hits the corner and it doesn't go in. It's a game of millimeters.
It's so awkward to scratch coming the cue ball off of the top rail too.
Top
into
rail
the
near
side
that
pocket.
center down. Yeah.
Bro, yeah, I was in Lincoln City and we were playing teams, and I made a ball and I needed to get position kind of where the 1 is at, but I wanted the cue ball to come off the short rail and get a little bit further back on this shot, and I ended up scratching in the side pocket, and I was just like, how?
A little table ball, maybe.
How, dude? Like, it was crazy. So, yeah, I feel like that's the most sort of common head scratcher scratch where you're like, huh, yeah, I guess it's possible, but I didn't think it was going to happen.
Exactly. And a lot of the time it's because the side pockets play tough, you know?
Yeah. So yeah, Bijoy's really settled into the match now. I feel like his leaves have gotten better and better. The way he's hitting the ball. Came up a little short here.
Yeah, and as you were saying, I think it's good to play better towards the end of the match compared to starting off strong, fizzling out.
Mm-hmm.
You can't close it out, and then it's hard to win matches that way. So I kind of like how Bijoy's ramped it up here. He's playing a little bit stronger.
Yeah, for sure. If you can ramp up exponentially, it's much better than sort of starting hot and then tapering off. Because all the pressure, as the rack count starts to dwindle, it's much more difficult to sort of ride that momentum if you're tapering off.
Yeah, pressure increases, and your play's got to increase with it.
He's going to roll. He went for the back cut. Interesting. I was going to say I don't mind him going to the top right and kind of like really digging into like a draw to come off the rail and then take the 6 in the lower left. But I guess he felt better about the follow. Didn't quite get the leave he wanted on the 6. So again, yeah, I think with Will, I think the biggest takeaway for him is, at least in this match so far, is overthinking the position and not giving equal weight to potting the ball.
Yep. A little more focus on getting the ball down.
Because
realizing you can make a hard shot if you need to. You don't gotta get perfect.
Because when he is missing, he is getting the leave that he wants, but he's just barely off with making the ball. And Bijoy is kind of taking advantage of that in a couple racks and run out on him. So you can't really be forfeiting making the ball for the sake of position.
Yeah, I agree. At least give yourself a chance, get the ball down. Kind of landed on the wrong side again, like you were saying before. Shouldn't have a problem with the leave on the 8 ball. Just needs to be decisive on where he wants to put the 8 ball and how he might go about getting to the 9.
Yikes. Narrowly escapes the side pocket scratch and also narrowly escapes the corner.
Yeah, it's probably not his original blueprint that he wrote up or had thought of, but he's in a position now where he can just make this 8 ball and kind of follow forward, which, he probably was thinking, hey, I'm going to shoot the 8 in the side. Got that, just overran it.
Mm-hmm.
I was doing that all day, all night when I was playing on this table, so I feel him. He's coming with it now.
Yeah, it's a good recovery shot here. Gave himself a little distance, but totally makeable.
Yeah, he kind of let his stroke out as opposed to rolling that 8 ball in like I was saying, but it's just all feel, all preference, what you want to do. Pots the 9 ball and ties it up 6-6.
Yeah, folks, I think this one's going to be back and forth the whole time, so let's see if someone can break away. But so far, tail of the tape very much is trading racks. And that's what makes it exciting.
Race to 3 is what we got on our hands now.
All right, let's see if there's any revised guesses in the chat. I think Nathan earlier said it was going to be 9-6 Will. So this is sort of the turning point to have that still be a valid guess. 9-7 and 9-8 are still on the table, as well as the 9-8 in Bijoy's favor. So far, chat, pretty good predictions here. All right, let's see if Will has made corrections to his break. No scratch this time. Wing ball drops. Unfortunately, the 1 goes to the top rail. It tends to happen when you're sort of putting a bit more power into the break and you're not quite hitting the cut angle that you need to pocket it in the side. So it ends up going a bit high. And this is sort of a classic 1 to the top rail when you're making the mistake on the break there.
Yeah, and I think it's something that these guys should be paying attention to is their speed and where that 1 ball is ending up. Because making a ball is great. He's pushing out. He still has the advantage here, or should have the advantage on this push out. But you really want that 1 ball over the pocket so you can have an opening shot. And it's really the speed and how straight you're coming into the rack, trying to control the cue ball to the center of the table.
I haven't had a ton of success making the 1 in the side pocket, so I've sort of adjusted my cut break to where I kind of just try to squat the cue ball in the middle of the table. And what that kind of does, it kind of compresses the 1. So I do end up landing above the side pocket, but the way that it comes out, I actually have an open shot into the upper right corner with the 1. So it's sort of a way you can sort of hedge your bet, I guess, with this particular style of break in 9-ball, is that you don't put more power into it. You kind of just, you basically try to stop shot break. And I feel like the 1 sort of has a wider angle to go up towards the corner.
Yeah, definitely. And if anybody wants like a textbook example of how to break a template rack, especially on this table, Daniel Northwest, I want to call it the Moscone, the Northwest Cup.
The Moscone of the Northwest. Yeah, you were right. I
said it before. He was executing that break at a high level. And another great example is Justin Bergman ran like 19 or 18 racks. It was on a 7-foot table, but soft breaking template rack. It's pretty absurd. Go watch that too, if you want to learn that little template break here to utilize.
Okay, the missed bank here from Will. Leaving it kind of tied up with the 6. I don't mind Bijoy sort of just shaving this 1 thin and bringing the cue ball towards the 2-3. As long as he doesn't give a huge separation with the 6, it might be a pretty decent tie-up. But I think he might be going for a bank here. Yeah, it's going to leak out a little bit.
Yep, and I kind of liked your containing shot there, just cutting the 1 ball into the 6 and just kind of containing Will, trying to get yourself back to the table. This is no easy task, though.
Yeah, the 1 is wide open, but both pockets are a little precarious. I guess I don't mind sort of banking the 1 up table and maybe leaving the cue ball down on the short rail here, because it looks like the V bank, you might be able to send the 1 between the 2 and the 3 up table and kind of leave the cue ball down below the 9. He ended up clipping the 9, but I think it was sort of the right idea.
Yeah, I think you might have been trying your shot and just barely ran into the 9 with the cue ball.
Yeah, it's kind of fascinating how I often see these shots from the booth, but when I'm actually playing, I'm like, I don't I don't see it as well. I guess I don't. I mean, you obviously don't have this view as a player, so
No, yeah, this bird's eye view is great. It's really hard to miss things up here from the booth.
Nice shot. Okay. I do see a sort of cheeky blue cheese combo here. If he can barely overcut this 2, I think it tracks into hitting the 9 pretty well. Obviously, the biggest problem is how sharp of an angle you're kind of coming into the 2. But I don't know. Do you like the blue cheese here?
Yeah,
or?
and I was going to add, how much momentum is this 9 ball going to have going into the pocket? You know, we've seen balls stand up all night. Is this something that he goes for? 6-6? It's close.
Yeah, it's super risky. Oh, he went for it. Yeah, boss in the chat reiterating that Bergman ran those racks on a 7-foot table. So yeah, the magic rack break on a 7-footer definitely different than the 9s, but I think the point kind of being that if you're able to dial in the speed and sort of like physical power into the break, regardless of table size, huge advantage.
Yeah, good point on the 7-foot table. It is a 7-foot table when Bergman runs those racks. It is template, but it's very much the same theory. If you go compare a soft break on a 9-foot and a soft break on a 7-foot, the balls are going to react the same for the most part. You're going to make the wing ball. One ball is going to track up above the one or above the top right corner, and off to the races at that point.
So Bijoy underhits this 2 ball. He definitely wanted to be above it. Might have to settle for a bank in the side pocket, but then the cue ball is running away from the 4. So kind of a pivotal decision moment here in the rack.
Yeah, I'm kind of liking the safety behind the 9, just trying to play cue ball only. 2 rails behind the 9. Good attempt. 3 ball got tied up with the 6 on the rail there.
Yeah, just a little too much speed with the cue ball. But it's not terrible. I think Will can just hit this 3 very thin and park the 3 behind the 6. I think that's a shot that I like, and just send the cue ball. It's going to be a little close, kind of running towards that corner pocket. But I think as long as you snooker the 3 behind the 6, you should be pretty good.
Yeah, and if you hit a good angle, the 6 ball might come out just a little bit, covering up the cue ball a little bit more efficiently. Sort of swings at it too thin there. Unforced error, misses the 3 ball completely. It's definitely not what he wanted.
Kind of curious what he wanted there, because he came into that shot with a lot of speed. And unless you're trying to like cross bank the 3, I don't really think you needed that much speed.
Yeah, I felt like the cue ball was a little too low and too far down for the cross bank to come at it with that angle.
Yeah.
He might have just been really uncomfortable with slow rolling because that scratch angle, you hit it thin, like these tables are playing pretty fast.
Yeah, the cue ball would just carry. Yeah.
And yeah, it was a touchy shot for sure. He's maybe trying to just gamble hitting it hard and thin, and missed it.
All right, well, this will be one of the top shots of the match if you can get onto this 5. This is one of those shots that you practice pretty often because it comes up a lot.
Yeah, I was feeling the same thing.
And he hit it perfect.
Exactly. I think we were both feeling that shot was going to he's going to come with it.
Yeah. He landed a tad straight, but it's not too big of a deal. I would prefer that he has a slight back cut on this 6. That way he can stun out for the 7. If he lands a little on the left side of the 6, he's going to have a much more difficult time getting over to the 7. So it's something to just kind of be aware of. I actually would have liked him to kind of walk around the table here, but he got where he needed to be. So,
yep. So 6 ball in the corner, kind of stun over for the 7, and if he does that, he should be home free. This is one of those balls where, on this table especially, you don't want to overhit it. The pockets aren't extremely tight, but it's the moment that you overhit with a little bit of spin that it's just going to stand up. It's just going to stand up.
Shoots it out. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So that was perfect speed.
Now he did land on sort of the wrong side of the 7 here. But you might actually be able to get away with rolling this. It's not ideal, but I feel like the cue ball will go towards the 9 a bit more. Opts for the stun out, and he's got the angle. So good job, Bijoy.
Yeah, great shots to close that rack out.
All right, advancing his lead, 7-6. He is on the eve of the hill. Will Pearson going to have to capitalize here to get back closer to the hill. Going into rack number 14, Bijoy up 7-6. Solid break. The 1 almost dresses up. Now he's got to look on the 1. Just needs to figure out how to navigate around the 8. Make sure he doesn't clip into it.
At first glance, I'm seeing cut this 1 to the right corner, go around the 8, go around the 7, and kind of just find that window in between the 7 and 5.
Mm-hmm. I like it.
That way you can play a little bit better stroke. You don't have to be too gentle on it. And
if you can fall below this 2 and then shoot the 4 up, that would be ideal.
For sure, for sure.
But this is not easy. It's kind of a weird angle, and obviously awkward cueing.
Stretching, for sure.
This is where yoga comes into play.
Definitely. Hopefully Bijoy did his yoga this morning. I know that I did.
So he ends up bumping the 8, but he got the lead that we were talking about.
Yeah. One way or the other, that was a great shot.
Potentially seeing the first break and run of the match here. Kind of like how everything falls into place. He will need a little angle on the 4, just kind of come off the rail. when he shoots the 5 in the lower left corner.
Yeah, easy to overlook, like leaving yourself that small angle, right?
This is pretty good. He's going to have to hit it with a follow just so he can get that angle off the rail. But he is going to have sort of a sharp angle into the 5.
Yep. Again, just try to be smooth with your stroke delivery. Don't need to hit it too hard.
Oh, wow. He actually got a lot of angle there.
Yeah, he hit that one really good. Pretty straight to just follow forward. Leave yourself an angle on the 6. It's quite a bit of an angle.
Yeah, it's a little steep. Cue ball will probably bump the 9. But this actually might be good for him. If he can just kind of juice this up with like a little bit of top left and make sure that he hits the 9 full in the face, then he's got a really good angle on the 7, and that 9 will roll middle table. So, I mean, yeah, this is looking pretty good as long as he can control that English on the cue and also pocket the 6.
Yeah, hitting the 9 ball is key if he is playing that shot, just so he can get real full on the 7 and just give himself the best opportunity to get that ball down.
Jameson in the chat saying, I got Will for the win. A lot of Will fans in the chat. Got one Bijoy fan saying 9-8. Let us know who you are rooting for. This match is really coming down to the wire.
Looks like he's balancing on one foot. Coming with a great shot.
Except he caught the 9 thin. Yeah.
That was a great cut on the 6, but yeah, catching the 9 thin and just straight into the side pocket is so unfortunate.
It's super brutal. Especially at this point in the match where you're about to go onto the hill, and now you are giving Will an opportunity to get to the hill before you. So,
yeah, Will going to take his time, make sure he gets out here. 2-ball run out. Should just be side pocket, side pocket. See what he opts to do.
yeah, I don't mind running this cue ball down to the short rail as opposed to floating. But you can also float. Came up a little short. Came up a little short. I mean, it's there. It's makeable. But, you know, when your opponent's pressing the hill, you really got to make sure that you're on the line.
Yeah, just kind of lit up on his stroke on the 7 ball with that ball in hand, but expect him to make this.
And make it he does.
Yeah.
Making this game 7-7. Yeah, I really think this is going to go hill. Thank y'all for tuning in. This has been a really good match. All right, dry break here.
Yeah, cut shot on the 1, but the 3 ball's hanging there right on the rail. Might interrupt the the cue ball a little bit here.
Yeah, cue ball is definitely going to be running into the sort of thin side of that 3. I think if he plays it with a little bit of follow, he might be able to get away with sort of shaving that 3 and then getting position on the 2. But he hit it a little too thick.
Yeah, you were thinking more of like a slow roll on that shot.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Hey, Rick in the chat. Yeah, thanks for showing the love. We definitely love showing y'all some good pool play of various skill levels. It's always nice to sort of analyze how players approach racks, and hope you enjoy the same. Thank you, Doug, as well. You are very welcome for the stream. Do these streams twice a month. Like to showcase players of various skill levels. We can all learn something, and yeah, it's entertaining.
It's always good to spar with people that are similar in skill level as well, right, Zach?
Yeah, and I also like trying to match up players that don't necessarily know each other. Because I feel like when players know each other, they sort of fall into a familiarity, or they have certain expectations of how, oh, this player doesn't bank as well, or like this, you know what I mean? They have like sort of like a preconceived notion in their mind of how a player plays.
Yeah.
And so when you go in blind playing someone of a similar skill level, but you haven't played against them before, I think it's way more entertaining.
Yeah, I'd have to agree. And then you can kind of just go into it, as you should many matches or any match, with what you do well. You know, focus on your game. You know, this sport, people like to play their opponent to some extent, but most of the time it's just you're playing your own game, right? You're playing yourself in billiards a lot of the time.
You're playing yourself, you're playing the table, more importantly. I feel like when you're playing someone you know, you're like, oh, well, I can maybe half-ass this leave because I feel they're not going to be able to make it or something like that, which you should never do. You know, you should always be playing your game and the table and what makes sense with the layout.
Your shot percentages and all that
For sure.
stuff.
Yeah. All right, so a couple misses here, a little bit of a back and forth. Will can see this 3-ball. I kind of like just hitting this thin. This is a shot that Chris Iberger showed me recently. You just hit this thing thin and then bring the cue ball back to the rail where his hand is. Yeah, so he actually went for the shot, which is fine. And the 9 came into play at the last moment to kind of block. But I kind of like playing safes like that where you kind of just brush a ball along the rail and then you send the cue ball back. And so it's hiding. Not only are you hiding the cue ball, but now that object ball is sort of obscured by another ball.
Yeah, a lot of the time you don't have to do much.
Right, yeah, it's sort of a keep it simple safe, right? Like
Those are the best kind of safes.
Yeah.
Because they tend to be the most effective.
For sure.
You know?
Well, he found the magic window between the 4 and 9, kind of slumping away there like, I can't believe that this 3 didn't hit somewhere else.
Yeah.
But yeah, okay.
There hasn't been any jump shots this match yet?
No, I think we may have had like an opportunity for one, but they ended up kicking instead.
Yeah.
Yeah, so no jumps yet, which is honestly a little interesting considering we're in rack number 15. You would think at some point there would have been a jump opportunity, but no.
Yeah, playing 9-ball, people play good safeties, and first thing that comes out of most people's case is the jump cue when they get hooked and have enough room to jump over the ball.
Yeah, I feel like we haven't really seen too much of like a lockup safe where the cue ball is maybe 3 inches behind the ball in front.
Yeah.
There's just enough angle for a kick, so typically you're going to go for the kick if you see it as opposed to a jump. It just
definitely. And both these players are real intelligent as well, to where they're not going to just pull out their jump cue right away. They'll probably see what the kick has to offer. And that's just been the case, like you said. The kicks have made more sense tonight, and that's what they're doing. So they're playing the right shots.
All right, well, with this layout, I like Bijoy's chances of getting out here. There really is 0 issues. As long as you can bring this cue ball back to the left half of the table, the vertical left half, I think you're pretty good on the 5. But
Yeah, I was thinking he was going to come a little bit with a harder stroke.
Sure.
Come back more center table. He's had that shot a couple times now, and he really likes it, and he's executed it well. Just underhit that one. So now we're on the other side of things here, just underhitting a little bit.
Classic commentator outcome here. Yeah, because now he kind of really has to juice this cue ball to get a good leave on the 6. You almost like need to hit it with outside left to make sure the cue ball runs into that left rail. Right? Or
throw the ball a little bit.
Yeah. Oh, no, just, okay. That was sweet.
Yeah, he fired it in.
Yeah. And again, just the stun out. Right. Bijoy, stun. Bottom.
And that's the shot he needed to get good on the 5. He wouldn't have had to make such a good shot, but great correction.
Yeah.
And he just needs to put this one down. Beautiful.
Butler in the chat asking, why is the 5 ball sometimes orange and sometimes purple? A few years ago, Aramith decided to sort of switch up the coloration of the balls because of the way that they appeared on a TV. The orange being 5, and then the 2 ball obviously being blue, but then the 4 ball being purple. I think the 2 and the 4 were like too dark on the TV. You would think that they would just change the 5 ball to pink and keep the 4 ball and just make it a little bit lighter of a purple, since the 4 was already purple, but for some reason they decided to change the number and the color, which I don't know if anyone else has a theory on why they did that. I would like to hear it.
Yeah, and they may have not been anticipating the technology change in cameras and TVs.
Yeah.
Because nowadays, I'm sure blue 2, purple 4 would be fine.
Yeah, I feel like if you watch some of the old like AccuStats videos where they're filming at Derby City from like the 90s and even like the early 2000s, like it is difficult to tell like the 3 and the 5, sort of that red and orange, and then you've got like the blue and purple, the 2 and the 4, and like those were kind of hard to differentiate on camera. But now that we've got like such sharp 4K cameras, it's almost like negligible.
Definitely. And they're always trying to adjust it too. I think that's part of the change to the gray cloth, just more pop on the balls. I like the look of it. Some people like the blue a little bit better.
I really like the gray. Yeah, I think all the ball colors really do pop on gray a little bit more. I feel like when you're playing on blue, it's I don't want to say it's like gentler on the eyes, but it's like familiarity maybe. And I do still very much like a tournament blue colorway on cloth, but you really can't beat gray. And what an incredible break here.
Yeah, some balls are leaking on this one.
The 3. Oh, the 3 was like, hey, Bijoy, you want to break and run? Nah, you don't.
Hey, Bijoy, you want to use that jump cue you haven't grabbed yet?
Yeah, he's grabbing it now. If he can get out here, this will be a pretty sick way to end the game with the break and run, starting with a jump shot.
Oh, yeah.
Oof. It's kind of like your game-ending jump shot. when it was
luckily
hill.
I was able to make it just like Bijoy. That was a great jump shot.
Yeah, and he got great angle for this 3. Oh.
Yeah, 100%.
Not trying to jinx this, but this is looking pretty good.
It's got some distance. Couple balls to close this out. So you think he's going to go 2 rails, add just a touch of spin, go to the top and back out 2 rails softly, or
I don't mind that. Ooh,
that's that draw shot he likes, and man, it was close.
Yeah, he's on such a good angle for this 4. Yeah, he's going to be a little bit bummed about that, but he still does have the match lead, so can't be too peeved about it. Nice shot here from Will. Really good cue ball control.
Yeah, played a good speed on that. He's going to have to come with a good draw shot here.
Yeah, he doesn't need to draw back too much. Just getting that center table here would be ideal. She pretty much did.
Yep, that works.
Okay, now this angle. You think he's going to play for short side? Or is he going to juice this draw up and go almost like 2.5 rails to get on the right side of the 6?
Yeah, it's touchy. I think if you miss the side pocket towards the top of the table, you could come across the 6 and be fine. You just don't want to fall too low. If you go short side, you definitely got to dig into it a little bit more.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Actually just draw straight up the rail. But yeah, no, he came across. I think this was... Oh, it was the right idea. He just somehow caught so much power in that draw.
That's what I was kind of worried about, coming too low across that 6 because of that corner pocket there. You could definitely scratch, but also if you end up on the bottom rail, the 6 becomes pretty tough as well. Looks like he's got a decent angle to still make this pot.
Yeah, like coming 2 rails to get into the line of the 9 in the lower left corner, which he fell on pretty nicely here.
Oh, yeah.
Just needs to take his time, pop this ball, and make this a hill thriller, baby.
Just off the rail there, so he has a little bit of easier cueing.
All right, folks. This is the moment we've been waiting for. Hill.
Exciting.
Something we talked about early in this game. When as soon as they started trading racks, I just felt it in my bones. It was gonna be hill.
Yep, we both sort of felt that it was just gonna be a grinding match. 1-1, 2-2, 3-3. I think the biggest lead that we had was 2 racks, right, Zach? Was that going into?
Yeah, it was. I think it was like no, wasn't
6-4?
it 7-5 maybe? I don't know. Someone in the chat.
Yeah, somewhere in there. If anyone remembers, let us know. But I think that there was a 2-rack lead at some point by Bijoy.
Yeah, I think he either had the 2-rack lead or he was like about to have it, and then Will ended up tying it up or something, but who knows?
Yeah, it was close.
Yeah, it was close. This game's been sweet. Thank you all for staying tuned with us live here in Seattle.
Essentially a 1-rack lead the whole way through.
Yeah. Yeah, no big separation really. And when 2 players are very similar skilled, it's kind of what you ideally would want to see. I feel like a lot of people talk about Fargo ratings and how they can be manipulated and this and that, but I feel like if players are playing true towards their ability, I think both of these players are playing a little under. A little bit under, but both are equally under.
Yeah, just a few misses, maybe unexpected this match that we've seen. both these players, you know, we know what their high level play is. I think it's good to play your B game every once in a while, get it out here on the stream table. You're going to get more from it if you're truthful to yourself and, you know, it's what it's all about.
Yeah, for sure. Can't play your A game 100% of the time. That's why we're amateurs. So, yeah, always room for improvement. Both these players obviously are really good. And yeah, let's see if Will can snap off a break and run or a magical golden break or just a good break with position. We'll see. We'll see what happens here.
Yeah, I don't think we've had a break and run yet. Real close to one. But what if we were to end on a break and run?
That'd be pretty sweet.
9 ball on the snap would be magical as well.
All right, snapping off rack number 17, Will Pearson. Kind of like the adjustment here. I feel like he's broken across the face of the one a couple times, so a little bit more inside to make sure that he doesn't cross the face. However, he made the 2, does not have an open shot on the 1.
No, and it looks like Bijoy is going to get another chance at the table here. Pending a push out or a safety kick shot, which would be touchy and aggressive to go for, in my opinion.
He's looking at it, though.
Oh, I see. Maybe offensive. Rail first.
Rail first to shave sort of the right side of the 1 to cut it into the top left. The only problem with that is that you are running the cue ball towards that top right pocket, and you're not really guaranteed to look. But he's hitting this with bottom, so he actually might be trying to stop the cue there. So it'll be nice if he can cross over the 4, which he cannot. So now 1-8 combo is in play here.
Yeah, only thing you got to watch out for on that shot is where is the 1 going to be after it collides with this 8 ball. 8 is somewhat stuck to the rail.
Yeah, I think if you can kind of pinch the 1 basically between the face and the rail, the 8, it should just sort of park up there.
That'd be ideal.
And then your cue ball obviously will be kind of running towards this 5-9. Yeah, this is kind of touchy because if you hit it with bottom, the 1 will roll more towards the pocket.
Yeah, real important shot. Bijoy's taking his time. I don't blame him. If you take on this combo, you definitely don't want the 1 to leak out of the pocket. And that 8 ball just being right there tied up on the side rail. If you hit the rail first.
So yeah, he misjudged the angle there and is actually left an open pocket here for Will.
You think he was going for that combo? Just kind of mishit it?
I think so.
Okay.
Just kind of the trajectory of the 1 was sort of going towards the 8, and I think he just overcut it.
Yeah.
Which is kind of a common like visual error.
Yeah, overcutting.
Well, yeah, just like when you see a ball in a pocket, you you almost like focus so much on that ball that you sort of don't have, I don't know, there's something about your eye like shifting between the second object ball as opposed to the main one that you're making contact with. Oh, he's going to get super fortunate here. Hey, Jameson in the chat. Yeah, we've had a lot of Hill thrillers here on the show. Go ahead and check out the playlist. Yeah, I think, I want to say at least like 70% of the matches are very tight.
You should just start guaranteeing Hill thrillers. Get a lot more viewers. Although a decent amount of viewers in the chat right now. Appreciate it.
Ooh.
Nice contact on that jump shot.
Yeah, might have to go back-to-back jumps here. Unless he's looking at a kick. Nah. Get that jump cue out, Will. Let's see some back-to-back jumps after talking the whole time. Well, we haven't seen any jumps yet.
Yeah, we knew the jump cues were going to come out. What were we thinking? What's 9-ball without a jump cue? Earl Strickland would be going nuts right now.
He would probably full cue jump this. No, so he jumps and does not make contact with the one. This rack is still a little tricky to run out. He may opt for the 3-8 combo. But if he makes that 3-8, I think he's going to be out.
Yeah, I'm wondering if the 3 sneaks by the 7. He's looking at it right now, real close.
It's kind of hard to tell, but I think it does. Just maybe barely, but I think it's safer to do the 3-8.
Yeah. Regardless of ball in hand opportunity here, he's got to be happy about that.
Okay, he's going to be sort of rolling away from the pocket line here. Nonetheless, you can sort of just schmedium roll this forward.
Yeah, still wants good cueing position, so he's got to watch out. He's not leaving himself over that 4-ball. That would be miserable.
Not the friendliest of bumps here.
Yeah, I was thinking he was going to maybe slow roll that 3-ball into the 8. Kind of went with more of a firm shot. And actually got pretty lucky that 3-ball came directly right back at the cue ball. It wasn't the friendliest of bumps, but he's got something on it.
Yeah, he may be able to cut this in the lower left corner, which would then send the cue ball 2 rails, and he can get above the 4 to take the 4 in the left side pocket.
Yeah, and I know it's hard to do, but maybe aim to overcut this 3-ball just in case. Just in case you miss it. Okay, he's coming the other way.
Yeah, gonna go the other way here. Okay, opted for the safe. Just this is a classic sort of distance safe here. However, if he makes his 3, he's in perfect position for the 4. Well, now Will is in trouble.
Yeah, I kind of missed that 3. No help from the 6 ball, and this is a really good opportunity for Bijoy.
I don't mind stop shotting this 3 and then taking the 4 in the side and actually running the cue ball down to the rail and back out.
That's essentially what he did there.
Mm-hmm.
Looks like he landed pretty full on the 4. He might be able to just stun this to the center table and play the 5 up into the corner pocket. See what he chooses to do. All right, took Zach's shot coming down, back up.
Landed a little bit short, but the overcut is in play. As long as he can swing this cue ball around the 6, he should be good. Ooh, swung in a little too much. Bank, 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 bank.
Yep, he might be firing at this bank to get it, huh?
Yeah, if he fires at this bank with follow and lands below the 7 and then just rifles that 7 in the top left with a little bit of draw to get onto the 9, that'll be a pretty sick 1-2-3 combo.
Yeah, what a finish that would be.
Oh, he played safe. Is he going to get to the rail? Ooh, he's not. Uh-oh. Leaving a makeable ball here.
A makeable ball with chance of this 9 ball to get flicked in or at least track towards the pocket.
Bruh. If he makes both these balls, sick.
It's just tough because you don't want to slow roll this ball, but you want to get shape on the 7.
Yeah,
and you're coming into the 9.
If you go for both and just hit this with like a little bit of bottom left, shave off of that side there on the 6, and the cue ball should hit the 9 pretty full. I don't know. I almost feel like the 9 will hit the bottom rail first and kind of just hang out around the pocket. I don't think it's going to go directly in, but
Yeah.
it's possible.
Might get it moving regardless. Let's see here.
Can imagine a fluke bank combo.
Yeah, it doesn't take the cut shot that we were looking at, but
Yeah.
this is a tough shot. Tough position to be in. All this pressure, hill.
One of the safeties I like here is actually banking this ball 2 rails and landing the 6 up on the short rail, and you bring this cue ball down to the bottom short rail. So you need to hit it with a little bit of power, but not a ton, because that ball is frozen. It'll kind of shoot off of that rail a little quicker. But basically aiming the 6 to the upper right rail, middle diamond, for it to then bounce off and go to the upper short rail, middle diamond, and just giving some huge separation.
Yeah, and if you play the 6 ball with that position in mind, maybe a little bonus getting a snooker on the 9 ball here if he plays his cue ball.
Oh, he went for the cut. And he's selling out. Oof. Yeah, he's not going to be happy with this. Okay, chance here for Will to seal the deal. No. Again, the position. I feel like you could have probably just hit that with straight top and come off straight off of the short rail and back down table as opposed to going 2 rails.
Yeah, just hitting it a little bit more sweet. You don't need to put that much cue power into the shot. I've missed so many shots on this table like that. Just too much power, too much spin.
Yeah.
Just really getting too complicated with my own shot.
Yeah.
And it'll make you pay. It'll happen.
And there's such a tendency, too, to sort of go back to your, like, oh, I really like hitting this with spin, and there's only 3 balls left. But, yeah. Bijoy going to capitalize on that mistake.
Straight in 9 to finish it.
9-8. Thank you all for joining us this evening. Congrats to Stephanie in the chat for predicting the match score of 9-8 Bijoy. I think that's the first time that someone has predicted the score correctly, so congratulations to you. Or maybe knowing your players or just having strong guessing skills. But thank you, Dustin, for joining me in the booth tonight.
Hey, thank you, Zach, and thanks, Ox Billiards. Great place, great billiard club here.
Yeah, it's been a pleasure, man. Glad you were able to join, and thank you all for tuning in. Hit the like, hit the subscribe, ring the bell as well to be notified when we go live. Y'all take care.